What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Exploring Attractions. My name is Scott, and you're watching your stop for all things theme park and attraction related. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing down below with those bell notifications on, and leave this video a like at the end if you enjoy it. We also have an official merchandise shop, so if you want to go get a shirt like the one that I'm wearing right here, we just debuted this new design, Exploring Attractions. Go check it out, link in description. Anyways, everybody, as we all know, January is kind of the driest season for theme park news. There's not a lot going on. There's not a lot of updates to film other than in park, and I don't want to be filming the same exact updates every time I go to Disneyland or the same exact updates every time I go to Universal. So around this time is usually when I start to think of more creative ideas and more just like videos that I've been wanting to make that there really has been no time to make them, but since there's a slow season right now, this is the perfect time. So that's why in today's video I'm going to talk about 5 different themed lands that I would like to see come to Universal Studios Hollywood, and these are in no particular order. I'm just going to talk about 5 different lands that I'd love to see at this theme park. Now, this isn't a speculation video, this isn't a rumor video or anything like that. This is just solely something that I would like to see a whole lot. And you know, who knows, maybe down the line, 10 years from now, 7 years from now, we will see some of these lands come to life. As we saw, Super Nintendo World is getting installed down in the lower lot, and that's a massive thing that nobody thought would ever come to the park. So never say never with these different ideas. And I would want to know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments section. Would you agree with the lands that I'm going to be talking about in today's video, or do you have different lands that you'd like to see come to the Hollywood park? Alright, but without further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about one that's in relation to Super Nintendo World, and that is of course the Donkey Kong Land expansion. Now, over at Universal Studios Japan, there already is confirmation that they're getting a Donkey Kong coaster, and this coaster is going to be state of the art. It's going to be completely new, and it's something that we've never seen before. But unfortunately, like you said, if you want to check that out, you have to go all the way over to Japan and go to their Super Nintendo World. Anyways, that Donkey Kong expansion is going to have that e-ticket attraction, which is a coaster themed to Donkey Kong, and the whole entire land is going to be completely immersive, just like Super Nintendo World already is. And that expansion plot is actually right behind their Super Nintendo World, and you literally just go right through a tunnel and you're right there. Well, I do believe that here in Hollywood, there is room for Donkey Kong as well. There's plenty of old sound stages that they're currently, you know, looking like they've seen better days, right? And there's obviously construction going on down where the tram usually goes in Whoville and whatnot, and Whoville's been removed there. There's obviously a bunch of land being cleared right next to Fast and Furious Supercharged. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the back area of Universal. And my only thing when I think about this is, you know, they could be clearing space to put more, you know, new sound stages so the film industry can take over that area and not so much behind where the theme park is, more importantly, where Super Nintendo World is going to be placed at. Because if you think about it, really, that is perfect theme park space for them to use, especially if they'd want to do a Donkey Kong Land expansion. I think that would put Universal Studios Hollywood on the map. Not that it's not already. You know, the Disney versus Universal war is a lot stronger over in Florida because of the size that they have, the magnitude of their park. And I would like to see them start to expand the theme park a little bit more here in Hollywood, and that would be the first step of removing the different sound stages that are older and have been there for quite some time. And I mean, I think that'd be awesome. You have Super Nintendo World open this year or maybe next year, and then 2 years down the way, you announce the Donkey Kong, get fans even more hyped and build that hype again for Super Nintendo World, and have tourists flooding over here from Florida to check out Donkey Kong. And you know, around Epic Universe opening over in Florida, that'd be around the same time that I could see them opening or building a Donkey Kong expansion for Hollywood, so I think that'd work out perfectly to kind of cross promote the two. Staying in kind of the lower lot area, I would love to see them expand Jurassic World, make a brand new expanded Jurassic World themed area, because as you know, with Jurassic Park, it wasn't really themed in that area as far as other than just the ride and the restaurant. Now they've kind of expanded it when they redid and made it to Jurassic World the ride. Obviously with the raptor encounter, you have the different dinosaur characters that come out and meet and greet sometimes, and it just feels more complete in that area with Isla Nublar and everything surrounding it. Well, I would really like to see them expand that and add to the completely whole lower line. Obviously, the transition between Jurassic World to Super Nintendo World would be a little bit difficult for them to figure it out, but after all, Universal has some of the best creative minds out there in the theme park industry, so I'm sure they'd be able to figure it out with no issues. Now, if you think about it, right, you have Transformers The Ride, which is the same ride system as the ride system that they're doing for the Jurassic World ride over at Universal Studios Beijing. And if you haven't seen footage of that, well, let me tell you that I thought that the Indominus Rex that we have in Hollywood is cool, but the different animatronics that they have at that Beijing ride is next level. Like, they look terrifying and it looks like an awesome ride. Anyways, I'm rambling a little bit too much. It's the same exact system as the Transformers ride, so why not expand it and have a Jurassic World Dark ride in its place? You know, just take the blueprint from Beijing and put it into Hollywood. I guess that would beg the question as to, like, what would you do with the Mummy location? Obviously, Revenge of the Mummy's just been sitting there. It's a fun attraction. It's a little bit small, but nonetheless, it's a fun attraction. So what would you do with that location? Well, before I get into that, I want to continue a little bit more on this Jurassic World idea. You could easily make some type of walkthrough kind of immersive experience as well with Jurassic World as they have over at Universal's Islands of Adventure. You know, it's outdated and it's not as cool, but still, you can have something like that that you see in some of the movies. Whether it be the research center or just like an interactive walkthrough, or maybe even just a giant gift shop. I don't know, just something in relation to that. Maybe you can go in and view actual animatronic dinosaurs. I know they have a Jurassic World like kind of exhibit that travels around the country that is super impressive, which I'd really love to see one day. So I don't know, maybe have something permanent like that to fit in with the whole themed area. Let me tell you though, I know this theme park war has been going on, but Panda Express has got to go. It just doesn't fit in down there anymore. Anyways, I kind of left an open book as far as the Mummy location would go, because if you do 3 Jurassic World rides, that's kind of overkilling it just a bit. I'd say 2 max in the lower lot, right? Which would leave that completely blank space for the Mummy, and you could even extend it a little bit further back if they do plan to remove those old sound stages. And this would be a perfect fit for, I know all you horror fans are going to love this, a Universal Classic Monsters Land, which actually Epic Universe is going to be getting a Classic Monsters Land at their theme park in Florida. And it's rumored that Mike Aiello and John Murdy have been working on it closely together. So you gotta wonder, right? Why not bring a Universal Monsters Land to Hollywood? Because arguably there is a big horror fan base in Los Angeles and California. I mean, there's a big horror fan base everywhere, but I'd argue it's very, very strong here in California, or SoCal nonetheless. I could just imagine seeing like Frankenstein's castle coming down from the Starway. That'd be the perfect sight line. And then you go across the way and you get Super Nintendo World. And then right in the middle of it, it's this fully immersive Jurassic World land. The lower lot would finally serve its purpose. And not that it doesn't already, it's just it feels a little bit like a mix of everything. But if Universal really wanted to step in and be like, alright, let's think of something that's going to draw in triple the guests to our theme park and utilize our space as much as possible with the little space that we have, that would be the perfect way to go about it. Super Nintendo World on the left, Jurassic World in the middle, and then of course a Universal Classic Monsters Land on the right. I am really jealous that Epic Universe is like practically confirmed that they're getting a land like this, and I will be there on opening day whenever they announce that opening day is in a couple years or so to check that out. That'll be the first thing I go to for sure. But obviously that'd leave plenty of room for like Horror Nights stuff in there as well. You know, they can have a different themed Universal Monsters mazes in there during Horror Nights. They can kind of repurpose a building for that, or make a more permanent walkthrough in there as well. Alright, now that we've discussed the lower lot, let's talk a little bit about the upper lot, because I don't want to leave that out of the question. One big thing that a lot of people have been talking about over the years, I mean, this is stretched for since Wizarding World has opened up, is the potential of a Diagon Alley land. And there's been a lot of rumors like, oh, it's gonna eventually make its way to Hollywood. You know, I don't think it ever will. I do think that I would like to see it, because I've obviously been to the one in Florida and it's super cool. Escape from Gringotts is arguably a very, very good ride. But out of the 3, Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure tops all of them. I would like to see Diagon Alley eventually make its way to Hollywood, but I don't think that'll happen. Like I said, I think a perfect area for this would probably be in the Simpsons area. Obviously then Harry Potter would be a little bit saturated throughout the theme park, but you know, it's already saturated enough, especially in Florida, with the rumors of there being a Fantastic Beasts land being built in Epic Universe. I mean, you can never go wrong with Potter. I'm a big fan of the films. I wouldn't be the biggest let's say fan of them bringing Diagon Alley over something like we discussed in the lower lot. If this was a thing that's like, hey, we're gonna give you this and we're gonna give you this, like meaning like one of the other lands that we already discussed, then I'd be happy about it. But if their brand new big thing would be just Diagon Alley, then I'd be like, you know, kind of a letdown. But I do think that if they were to eventually bring Diagon Alley over, it'd be in that Simpsons area for sure. Obviously, then you have to find some route to get to the studio tour, and maybe they'd relocate that. But this is one of those lands, it's just like, I don't think it will ever make its way over here. I just think that we can, you know, have fun and have an imagination on where it could be placed at. The last one that we're going to talk about is a little bit more family friendly and kind of already exists in the theme park, and that is of course Illumination, a full-on Illumination themed area. And like I said, this is already kind of a thing. Obviously they've completely renovated Pet's Place. That's a brand new with Secret Life of Pets. I really like what they did there. And then of course they have Minion Mayhem and that whole Super Silly Funland area, and then after that it kind of just dies off a little bit. Well, why not utilize French Street and utilize a little bit further down that way, maybe even Animal Actors? Why not put a brand new themed show there? I do know that in one of the overseas parks they have a Sing show, which is Illumination. You know, Sing 2 just came out. They have a Sing like on stage show, and I think that'd be really cool to see come over here to Hollywood and then expand that area kind of a little bit. But they also have the middle area, which is Persian Courtyard, where they can just completely rip that all out and make it fully themed to Illumination and make it really solidify itself as this is like the Illumination Plaza area. And I think that I have talked about this idea before. I want to say a couple years ago in a video that I did of like Universal's 5-year plan, what we could see happen. Obviously then my thoughts in those videos are completely different from when I'm filming this right now, because a lot has changed and a lot of realistic stuff has changed. But I definitely think that they should completely gut out that Persian Courtyard area as well as French Street. Obviously we lose an HHN maze location, but it's for the benefit of the theme park, and I would love to see Illumination really solidify itself as a themed land in that area. And like I said, maybe this is the beginning of that progress. With Pet's Place, they did very good with that, so who knows, maybe that'll be their next thing that they do. I don't think we'll really get a new ride there, but I think that they should add a new attraction, and that would obviously be the Sing stage show that I was talking about. Anyways, everybody, that is my 5 lands that I would love to see eventually make their way over to Universal Studios Hollywood, some which are already being built at different parks and some which already exist at different parks. So I want to know what 5 lands you would like to see come to the Hollywood park in the near future. And you know, some of these ideas may never happen, but one man can use his imagination and dream that at least one of these will come true. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing down below with this bell notification on, and leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. If you want to check out the merch like the one that I'm wearing right now, make sure to click the link down below in the description because it helps out the channel a whole lot. Anyways, everybody, my name is Scott, and you have been watching Exploring Attractions. Positivity is key, and most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.